A 1, 2, 3.
Gonna walk that promenade, yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade, be the talk of that promenade, looking for a star drifter, not a shapeshifter, lots to do and more to see, sweet sticks from a jump tree, oh, oddities, opportunities, free advice, but not for cheap, oh, gambling wheels, shaded deals, meet me back here tomorrow, please. Walk that promenade. Yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade.
Oh, and I didn't take down the banner. What am I doing here? Hello and good evening for this Monday, February the 5th, 2024. Star Trek DS9, Season 7, Episode 11, Prodigal Daughter is over. And it has been since the year 1999. But we're just going to party here like it's 1982. I don't know. I'm kind of losing this whole metaphor. But I'm Dave Mader, and we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for our live review of this episode some 25 years later. A live stream here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. We got the live commenters. Of course, we got Sam with us, and we got Norman and some others. But of course, we have our panelists. First and foremost, perhaps, the man on the station, the Bajoran worker himself, the inimitable Kevin Millard.
Also the man that's happy to see the opening is back.
Yes, it's back. Yeah, it was funny last week where you and Jeff were in command of the station as I was over on Trivial Debates, and you were like, I don't know how to make this work. Let's just start. And
the funny thing is he said, okay, let's go. I'm like, okay. So I hit the button and he goes, oh, wait, we're live? I thought there was going to be an opening. The funny thing is, so did I. But then I was like, wait, I have to do that.
One of you has to do it. Yeah. Like it's kind of, it doesn't have to be both, but yeah. Joining us, as he did last week, I think he came in partway through from some hotel room in some far off land. He probably doesn't even remember where. It's Adam Woodward with us.
Hey guys, I came in late last week. I'm in Sudbury tonight. I do know that, but I came in late last week and I thought that episode was going to last like 20 minutes, but we dragged it for an hour, Dave. We kept it going.
No, you did. Yeah, I'm glad you did. I tried to join you if I could have, but Trivial Debates usually runs at least an hour and a half, and you guys were done before I was. So yes, here we are to talk about Prodigal Daughter. This episode that features the Ezri Tegan family. It's kind of a sequel to the episode with O'Brien sort of going to the Orion Syndicate. What was that episode called? Way back. When was that? Like last season?
It was last season. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's the
Drab episode.
Is it? We did not like it. It was the one where he goes undercover, and it's basically Donnie Brasco, the plot from that movie. So this kind of, but this is not from Donnie Brasco. This sequel we get here in this episode. So we're here to talk all about it, guys. I always like to go to Adam first, because he's never seen these episodes before. Tell us about your take on Prodigal Daughter, Adam.
Okay, I trying to figure out how I was going to say this, but I found it very slow to start. Mm-hmm. And then I'd say about 35 minutes in, I started getting into the episode. I really liked the family dynamic. But man, it was a Star Trek Enterprise ending. Just bang, we're over.
It was kind of like a Star Trek Enterprise ending. Yeah, like I don't disagree with that.
But yeah. Before I finish, David, I'd love to know what your favorite gah would be.
My favorite gah. Here, I did ask Ezri to list them off here. So let's have a listen.
Your gah. Jedzia ordered it, each containing a different variety.
I can remember what each one tastes like and the way they feel when you swallow them. Torgudgach wiggles, Fieldingach squirms, Mishigach jumps, Wistingach is packed in Targ blood.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I think the one packed in Targ blood sounds like the most interesting. So, because you're mixing species together, I guess, or whatever. So,
there's also one with feet. Remember, she says that in a later.
Yeah, it's not in the same bit. Yeah, but she says one. But I'm like, is it still a worm if it's got feet, or is it now some kind of other like centipede?
Centipede or millipede, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. Do they use the feet for walking? If they don't, then they're still a worm.
I guess. But what do they use them for?
I don't know. Maybe they're ornamental.
Maybe. Yeah, so there's all that. Yeah, Honor Among Thieves, Kevin, was the episode with O'Brien. Where he infiltrated the Orion Syndicate, and this is sort of the sequel to that. Okay, so coming back to this 25 years later, I thought it was okay. I think that there's some really good acting and writing in this episode, in particular from this guy who plays the brother who ends up being the guy or whatever. Like it's a murder story. Spoilers, by the way, if you don't want to know the plot of Prodigal Daughter. But I thought he was pretty good. I thought that actually the full family dynamic was good. I wish this was a Jedzia episode that could have happened years ago. I kind of would like an episode like this for almost every main character in Star Trek if they're on like the show for 7 seasons or whatever, as these guys were, because we get to know so little about some of these characters. Who they are, who their parents are, where they come from, what made them join Starfleet. Some we get tons of it, and some we don't get anything.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think that some of the interesting episodes, even back to Enterprise, when we met Malcolm's, very staunchish, English parents, were interesting, or family and Next Gen. I do like the you don't need to see too much of them, but just seeing a little bit is enough.
A little bit, yeah. Like I don't need more than maybe one episode per character, and you could, in the course of, if you have 7 main characters in your cast over a course of 7 seasons, one of these, in a season is completely fine, I think. And I'm trying to say, like we got that one with Bashir where his parents came to the station. You mentioned the one back in Star Trek: The Next Generation where family, where Picard goes to hang out with his brother and family, and Worf has got his foster parents who come to the ship. In that one,
yeah.
Obviously, Deanna Troy's mother.
But there's an example of too much mother.
Too much. That's when we get too much. Data's father and Lore. So a lot of them did. There was even Riker's father who came to the ship at one point.
And you could even say, in Picard, where you saw his mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that was too much.
I'm trying to think of which characters we never got enough of. I think Jedzia is right up the top of my list.
Oh, didn't we saw Geordi's family, extended family as well?
A little bit. We saw his parents, and he's mentioned sisters and things like that. His kids obviously are now in the newer Star Treks. But Malcolm, you mentioned, we met his parents. T'Pol's mother came in one episode of Enterprise. Sisko's father obviously featured heavily in the show. So there are some pretty good examples of that, but Voyager less so because they were in the Delta Quadrant and they didn't have that option.
Jim Kirk's brother, Sam,
coming to us from Ryza, Soraya Bay.
Yeah, right.
It's Jody Simpson.
Yes, I was a little busy setting course for intercourse.
Jamaharan, you mean? It's okay. Yeah, we don't want to get too explicit here.
He is proudly displaying his organ.
Yes. Well, Jody, what are you saying? Are you looking to get some?
He seeks Jamaharan.
He seeks Jamaharan. Right. So that's a noble thing,
Indeed.
So Jody, we were just talking about this episode, generally speaking, and saying that I like it, like that we get more backstory on the character of Ezri, and saying that the episodes where we got some of these our main Star Trek characters more filled in, who they were, where they come from. Amok Time, for Spock, when we got to go to meet his betrothed and see some Vulcan rituals. Would you agree with that, or do you not need these family episodes? And just give me the action.
You know what? The problem is, with the exception of the family episode in Next Gen with Picard, which I think was called Family.
Yeah.
Every one of these family episodes that they do, where it's like you just give me the backstory of a character, for the most part, just is, I don't know, it just kind of draws away from what the show is. Like, to me, it's like, okay, well, I want my science fiction fill, and I want some excitement, and I want, I don't mind knowing extra things about a character, but number one, I'm not a fan of the character to begin with. No offense to the actress, but
Nicole Dubois.
Yeah, I don't have anything wrong against her.
Fellow Canadian.
I think everything to do with her in this series is completely rushed. It was, which I guess makes sense, because I think they probably didn't know that, Terry wasn't going to stay till the end. So
near the end, like halfway through season 6, they kind of knew this.
Yeah, so they had to kind of give us a story for the next one, right? So it's like,
I guess so. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, did they overuse Ezra in this season? I think that's almost undeniable.
Yes,
because
100%.
She gets like 3 or 4 features, and Jadzia, the predecessor Dax, who was on the show for 6 seasons. We never met any of her family.
No.
Her mother's mentioned briefly.
It almost feels like a filler episode in this scenario, because of the fact that this is a fairly new characteress, and it's a character that isn't going to be around long. Like, they already know that they were done at the end of the season anyway. So why did they feel the need to give me a backstory on a character that only just showed up and is going to be gone in 12 episodes?
Well,
Like
devil's
that.
advocate here. What, like, the Dax character can go on, right? Like, past Deep Space Nine.
Absolutely. And I have no problem with that. And if it happened earlier, I guess, in the run of the series, I think I would be more for it. It feels tacked on, and it just feels like, oh, well, we need to have more episodes, so let's give an Ezra backstory.
For me, they're really trying to push us to learn about this character in a very short amount of time that she hasn't got the time to develop that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Terry Farrell's character wasn't that great in the first season. Like, there wasn't a lot to do with her. Like, yeah, they had a couple plot points, but it wasn't great. But
Terry Farrell,
Jadzia, after a couple seasons, really kind of hit her stride, and then you cared about the character more, right?
Well, they gave her that episode that was just called Dax in the first season, where she goes on trial for something Curzon supposedly did, and then it turns out he didn't, right?
Yeah.
But
I think that was more to introduce us to the dynamic of the Trill, like, more than anything.
Both. It served both purposes.
We learned more ways, right, about the Trill that way, but
less so. And I guess like, famously, Star Trek: The Next Generation, was very plot driven in its early seasons, and then they went to a character driven model in like the season basically 3 to 7 in that show, and that kind of carried through to Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise for that matter.
I don't mind having backstory with a character, but a character who's so late into the run of the show, like, why do I need that? Like, I get they were trying to give us as much as they could of her, but like,
and we've talked about this too.
And this isn't the only episode this season either. Like,
I think it's, if you can just look at this episode in a vacuum, try to like evaluate it in a vacuum. Like, if like, I think the one that comes later with like the Joran stuff, I think that's the one I dislike more than this one.
I would agree with you with that. Yeah,
like, I didn't need that episode in the middle.
That one's just a complete waste of time.
But this one's better for me. I think that it's pretty emotional. I think that
what pisses me off the most about this episode is we hear throughout the episode about how Cisco is going to be really mad at O'Brien, but yet we never actually got to see that.
I know he wanted his boot up his ass.
That would have been. I would have loved to see just a 30-second scene where he shows up in Cisco's office, and Cisco just gives him that dirty dare look like that he has, right? So it's like, that would have been great, but we didn't get any of that.
I know that would have been good.
This episode for me is an episode about a bunch of characters that I don't care about.
Okay.
That is a sequel to an episode about a bunch of characters I don't care about. About a business I don't care about. it's nothing. It's nothing. There's so much going on in the station. I know they're trying to give Ezri some, but like, come on, this is nothing. This. I don't know any of these people. I will never see any of these people again.
Yep.
And like,
no, guess what, guys? I got a pitch for you, because we find out that what's her brother's name? Norvo. He's going to jail for 30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
By the end of it's been 30 years almost. We can have a sequel now where Norvo gets out of jail and Ezri shows up to
and none of us would care.
None of us would care.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Kevin, we might see this character again.
No, but hold on.
But they put them with a bunch of characters I don't care about.
I mean Norvo. I meant Norvo.
Dave just wants a show with Norvo. That's
I just want to show, as Jaemeel called him, discount James Spader in our chat today.
Kinda.
I think it would be amazing for Lower Decks to have him come out and be a villain, right?
Yeah.
Or just like
something like
have just like a throwaway scene where they go to they go and look at some art and he's there, presenting his new art that he got out from when he got out of jail or something. Like that would have been.
He's all strapped up like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he's got like a paintbrush in his mouth and he's like, "Hello."
I think we just came up with a Lower Decks episode pitch here. Mike McMahon, if you're listening.
Well, it ain't that hard, but
listen, I look, all that's true, Kevin. I kind of agree with you, because that even the opening, like that 7 minutes. Oh my goodness, it was.
It's
painful.
a long opening. Yeah.
And
yeah.
But again, for me, I mean, since we're watching, then it got a little interesting. It did get a little interesting when the family dynamic happened, and brother got drunk and destroyed his own paintings. Like, oh, this is blame your mom and dad for everything that ever happened to you bad. But I started enjoying it more at that point.
Okay, let's go through
so
this.
so much Orion talk, but yet not one of them on screen.
Not one Orion. Well,
No,
Orion
they don't have a
Syndicate.
budget to make people green.
Well, it's
Jody.
the Orion Syndicate.
Yeah,
Technically,
they're not all Orions.
That's true.
But yeah, we see basically one
and
guy.
And to answer the question that came up earlier, yes, I do like Jadzia. I wouldn't call myself a massive fan, but I don't mind the character.
Sam is a huge Jediza fan.
Jediza.
Yes. Okay, so this episode starts off on the upper level of Quarks once again here with Kira, Odo, Ezri, and Bashir. This is how we started off like 2 episodes.
Hold on.
But it was on the.
This
lower
is an ensemble cast.
It is.
Where did these guys go?
Well, they got their minutes in and they were done.
They did the intro, which was like 7 minutes.
They're in this. Of course, I think this is around the time they said that was it Nemesis or was it Insurrection had come around this time. So Michael Dorn is absent from the show during these weeks.
It was Insurrection.
Insurrection.
Yeah, it would have been Insurrection because this is 99.
Yeah, and so that I think that's also part of the reason they're like, what if we go off and do another episode with Ezri? And they're like, oh sure. They're talking about
that explains that screenshot right there explains how my face was most of this episode.
Oh geez. That's Kira's face. Anyway, they're talking about, oh Ezri, your stuff's here. The Gah that Jadzia had ordered for Martok's birthday. The one, and we already played the clip with the one that's the slimy and everything else. But we see that Bashir looks preoccupied throughout this conversation. He's struggling. He looks a little off. But they're talking about the Gah and the worms, and we just reiterating that Ezri is not so much into the Klingon stuff as her previous 2 hosts were.
So, like her ability to cry as an actress, she also does not have the ability to show me that she's grossed out either. I didn't buy it for a second.
She was grossed out.
She's like, I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah,
I just did a better acting job than she did in this episode for that.
All right. Well, Bashir, they go, hey Bashir, what's wrong with you? He goes, oh man, I'm just worried about Miles. Where is my buddy Miles? They're like, are you worried about going on to the
we're supposed to be going to the Alamo.
The Alamo, right?
Give my regards to Santana.
Give my regards to Santana. Because the other thing too is Ezri wanted to flush the Gah out the airlock, but environmental regulations prohibit it, guys. So
you can't be polluting space.
You can't just
environmental regulations.
Environmental regulation.
There has to be limits.
Anyway, so they leave, and Kira and Oda are like, they're so weird. Both of them are weird. These Starfleet types are weird, aren't
These guys are odd.
Yeah, I think you got a point there. So we get a shot of the station with the one of these ugly Bajoran ships docking, and I guess it's Bashir's waiting at the airport. He's waiting at the terminal for his good old buddy.
I'm surprised
Brian.
he wasn't holding a sign.
Yeah, he said,
"You've come miles to come see me,"
but Miles ain't there. Miles is not
suddenly
on.
an episode of 90 Day Fiance.
So Bashir looks a little taken aback. He doesn't know what to do. So he goes to Cisco and says, well, you know, he was, I think O'Brien's missing. And Cisco's like, he told me he was going to go visit his father. He goes, well, he never actually said that, you know, he kind of implied it, you know.
Doctor, please.
Doctor, please. One of my favorite lines in the episode. Joining us once again.
Look at who has shown up.
Jeffrey's Tube himself.
Oh my god. Well, there goes the fan theory of that me and Jeff are the same person.
Yeah, that goes.
Yeah.
That was a fan theory?
No, I'm just making that up.
Oh.
You're clearly the better looking of the two of us.
Oh, smarter too.
I don't know if I would go there. Jeff, so.
Jeff, we were just talking about the part.
Ballsy to say that, you
know. Did you? I'm assuming you saw the episode. And
yes. It was a. You know what this episode was? This was Scooby Doo. This was. There was even a line in this episode where it's like, I would have gotten away with it too, and I'm like,
it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah, if it wasn't for you meddling Irishman that's been beat up, and Ezri that's doesn't know who she is and what's going on. Yeah.
What's up with that? Never knows what the hell.
Did you like when Cisco was mad at the beginning of the episode at Bashir for not telling about what O'Brien was up to?
I don't think that's why he was mad at Bashir. He was just mad at Bashir because he's Bashir.
Yeah.
Doctor, please.
Oh no, I love the line after that when he says, "Can I ask what you're going to do about Miles?" He goes, "No, get me my report."
Yeah.
May I ask what you're going to do?
No, you may not. And I want that report on my desk within the hour.
No, you may not.
They might have the most. I think it's unquestionable. They have the most contentious captain doctor relationship of all of the cast, and that's saying something because Janeway kills the doctor in Voyager quite a few times.
Yeah, not just once either. Like,
and disregards his like individuality and like everything else.
He's like, you're a hologram. Fuck off.
Yeah, she's like, he's just a broken replicator. Leave it alone. Yeah, I would agree. Cisco and Bashir, they never get along throughout this entire show. And anytime Bashir messes up, Cisco lets him know it. So Jeff and Dave are not the same, correct? Yeah,
they are from.
I want a written report detailing everything you know about this woman, O'Brien's plan to find her, and everything else you neglected to mention to me.
Aye, sir.
And everything else.
Wait. On my desk, like now.
Yeah.
So I'm confused though. Why is this Bashir's responsibility?
Because Bashir brought it to him. He's just taking the brunt of it.
Yeah, he's the messenger.
Yeah.
Like it's not his fault he didn't show up.
Well, Bashir
he knew about it.
He knew about it. Didn't tell his captain, and that's. But like at the same time, neither of them are surprised by this. Like Cisco knows that. Like, yeah, I know why you didn't tell because you and I don't talk. You know, it's like we don't really have a trust relationship.
Wow,
do we?
This is this is turning into the Brady Bunch.
You know, when we got on here at 8, it was just Kevin and I.
Here's a story. A cool guy named Jaemeel.
Yeah. Thank you, Jody. I have
love for you, buddy.
You know I had to come for the Norvo. Young James Spader.
Yeah, discount James Spader.
Discount James Spader.
So it's mentioned that O'Brien is in the New Sydney system or something like that, and that's apparently where Ezri's family comes from. So what better? Can you call up your family and find out what's going on? You know, Cisco comes to her with this thing like, hey, O'Brien's missing. He's not a detective. That was my other favorite little quote.
He's not a detective. He's an engineer. He is my chief engineer, and now he's missing.
And I want him back.
And I want it back.
Yeah, but to his credit, like, yeah, he's the chief engineer, but he doesn't spend a lot of time in engineering.
He delegates.
We never even see engineering.
Rom is supposed to work.
They don't really have an engineering on DS9, I don't think.
They do on the Defiant, but yeah.
Yeah, on the Defiant.
They do, yeah. But yeah, so they get Ezri. Can you call up your family? Apparently, we find out Ezri comes from a rich family in where they come from.
Convenient.
And I guess the Trill do have commerce in their time. So she calls up her mother. I liked her, whoever played her mother. I thought she was good. Lee Taylor Young, I think, was her name. She's from, I don't know, a bunch of picket fences and a few other things.
Oh, that's where I know her from. Okay.
Picket fences. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where I knew her from.
Yeah. So she, they write her very, I don't know, like this is the overbearing mother, I guess, is what you put her. The other thing that Ezri said last time I tried call my mother was right after I'd been joined, and it was kind of awkward. Where's that one?
Hi, Mom, it's me, Curzon.
Right. And so she says, "Come on home." Now, later on, they'll criticize that apparently Ezri used to have long hair. Now she cut it short, but this is not brought up on this video call. That's with her mother. So she's off to see her family, and it seems a little off. And that is our teaser. It is a long teaser, as Adam has mentioned. It's about 7 or 8 minutes.
We wouldn't even call it a teaser at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it literally told part of the story.
Did they forget to play the credits? Because I'm ready.
Yeah. Anytime, guys. You bring those credits up.
Well, I guess we did need the scene at the beginning where they're talking about Ga, like in order to set up this episode at all, right?
All I can tell you guys is I very rarely watch the opening credits for DS9 because I've heard it so many bloody times. And it's like, but you know what? This time I did because I just needed to like cleanse my mind for a couple minutes.
You needed a break.
Yeah.
Right. Prodigal Daughter. Oh yeah. So Bashir hooks up Ezri with some the space sickness medicine on the way out. Because she gets space sick because she's an astronaut again. Remember, but this has only been since she joined.
This makes perfect sense. Joined Star.
I was kind of surprised actually that Cisco didn't send somebody along with her.
Yeah.
Because he's very happy to send out like non-Starfleet people all the time.
Right. Well,
I'm surprised that Defiant wasn't going out with a.
You notice how Odo was never an option?
He should be because he just
didn't want anyone killed.
O'Brien is not a detective. Was his quote?
But O'Brien is a survivor.
Yes,
that is what O'Brien is.
And people die standing next to Odo. So
it's true.
He's not a detective.
He's not a detective.
He's a magnet for random fire.
Yeah. But don't they get time off? And what does he want if he wants to spend his vacation doing that? So what?
Exactly. Like if he wanted to do something dangerous, he's allowed to.
I think it's the fact that he didn't come back when he was scheduled to come back, and then you find out that's not where he is. He's somewhere else, right?
Yeah. And you annoy Cisco when he's got to do something about it.
Like right now.
He's sitting in his office listening to some fucking music, watching a baseball game, and then comes Bashir. Miles is missing, and Cisco is just going to murder him at that point. He's like,
no, wait, Kevin, he's going to murder him.
Yeah, murder.
I might have proved she was murdered.
Moitered.
Like someone might get upset if I don't come back from Ryza in time.
Right.
But to be fair, the vacation was probably approved based upon what Cisco thought he was going to do.
Yeah. Now it looks like Ezri.
Do you think they have to document everything they're going to do?
Well, if it's outside of the season for him to go on vacation,
like imagine if you have to do like a log for what you're going to do on your vacation. And like Riker fills his out. He's like, I'm going to Ryza, gonna bang some chicks. It's gonna be great. Like that kind of thing. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah. So Ezri heads to the planet she lives on, Sapora 7. I think it's a 7. Sapora 7, which is a mining colony. We get some of these old school matte paintings, guys, with a couple animated figures. Kind of an interesting looking exterior. Anyway. And then she enters the home. I also want to give credit to the writers, Bradley Thompson, David Weddle, who I do like as a writing team on this show, and Victor Lobel as the director. Looking around the home, we first get to meet Norvo, who's after Esri sees the painting, gives her a big hug, calls her Z. Esri. It seems like you call her Ree, but he calls her Z. Discount James Spader, as mentioned.
Oh my God, I see it now, Jaemeel. I didn't.
He's definitely got the Spader vibe for sure.
It's Kevin Rom.
James Spader's younger brother.
He is not his brother. He is, but he's from shows like Desperate Housewives, Mad Men, and Judging Amy.
Reno 911, I think, also.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he's
really?
my. I'd say he's my favorite thing in this episode. Just his performance. I think.
He's good. Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
Wait. James Spader would never smile that much.
No. The only time he ever smiled was when he was on The Office.
Yeah, he's usually brooding all the time. So,
or if someone got hurt and he's just thinking about it.
That's true.
Right. Other people's pain make him.
Yes.
Yeah. Or his paintings don't make him smile. His mother has put up the painting in the living room, I guess, and his mother he doesn't like this because he doesn't like his work. He doesn't feel good about himself as an artist, guys. This is a big point in the episode.
That was more. His mom has berated him so much about his work, and then to put it up on display.
Yeah,
that's where the pain comes from.
Yeah,
and you were showcasing the brother who did not get the acting genes of the two.
Yes, let's meet the other brother, Janelle, the older brother. He less of a good performance, I would say. Very wooded. This guy, but
discount David Duchovny.
So I'm not gonna lie. When he first walks in, it didn't occur to me that what he was holding was like a hard hat. And for a second there, I thought it was a volleyball, and I'm like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Or how much is Jody?
He actually looks like he's going to give her a lap dance.
Yeah, he's got a boner. He's trying to hide it.
Oh, jeez.
Boner for his sister. Uh-oh.
He was like, he
can't keep it in the pants. Keep it in the family.
Thank God it wasn't water polo, Jody.
She's Dax now. It's different.
Yeah, she's Esri Dax now. He doesn't like her hair; it's too short. But they give her a hug, and so we get a feel for these three siblings in this episode. The two brothers and the youngest sister. Being
and two of them look like they could be siblings. One of them definitely doesn't look like the other two.
Who is that? Which one doesn't?
Well, you have the two that look pretty close on the screen right now.
Oh, these two? You think these two?
Yeah, they match pretty good, but
right.
And in terms of personality too.
Yeah.
Personality, the older brother, he plays it like, I'm the good son, I'm the loyal son to the mother. That's how he's written more than he plays.
But at this point, you already know if there's going to be some sort of issue with one of the brothers, it's that one.
What? But that's
the one that's going to cause the shit.
That's the misdirect of the episode. You think it's going to be this brother.
Technically, it's his fault in the beginning.
It is his fault.
But he didn't murder anybody.
He didn't murder anybody, no.
Anyway, we'll find out. It's the nice brother.
Well, it has to be the brother that she's more closer with, right? Like that's pretty much always how it happens.
Yeah. Was that obvious back in 1999 when you watched this? Or is it?
I don't remember.
Okay. Anybody?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, it has to go somewhere. But anyway, what is it they're looking at here? Oh yeah, they're looking at the bills or something. They're talking about mother. Mother's coming, and then her mom comes in, and there's some. Her mother, her presence looms large. She's a force of nature, they say. She doesn't like her hair.
I hate your hair.
I hate your hair. Give me a hug. Good to have you on here. Hey, how about you get working on some mining drills or something, kid? She says to.
I want my quarter end reports.
And where are my Q3 reports?
Well, they got a business to run.
Right?
I get it.
It's like you two can't enjoy seeing your sister. Get back to work.
They're running around this nice, gorgeous house with a fire pit in the living room for some reason. And like, he's enjoying all the creature comforts of what this lifestyle is giving him. He needs to do the work.
I guess so. Yeah. In this post-capitalist society, they got to keep it going here. And so they're the fifth biggest dilithium family or sixth biggest now in just the sector.
Fifth now, I think.
The fifth or
no,
the
sixth. They were in the
fifth. Now they're the sixth. You're right.
Now they're sixth. Ferengi knocked them out.
That's right.
And
those damn Ferengi.
Yeah. anyway, so I don't know, the brothers, they have a dinner later on that evening.
Like, look at that house. That is
nice house.
amazing.
It's a great view.
And that asshole is still dragging his ass on those quarterly reports.
Yeah, he's not getting his job done now. Remember, he murdered somebody 6 weeks ago.
Well,
Moided somebody.
Moided.
Yeah.
Voided.
He moided it.
Right. But Esri starts talking about her being joined, and her brothers are very interested in this, whereas her mother is not so interested in this. She says, "What about that guy you were dating on the ship? You know, the ship she used to serve on, whatever that was called. I think it was the Republic." And
something like that.
she's like, "What about that guy you used to date?" And she's like, "Well, he reminds me of my son," referring to one of her previous hosts. And so she's like, "Well." Oh, and she also didn't like that she was Esri Dax now, was the other thing, instead of Esri Tegan. She's like
she was annoyed. Like,
well, this is like Space Dynasty. Like, that's literally what this is,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It's
Space,
kind of
Space
like
Dallas, maybe.
You see a lot of people who start businesses and then they're like, "This is a family business," and make their kids go into it. You see it all the time, right?
Yeah, this is like Succession.
These guys started as slave labor.
Right.
But then she went and like joined a different royal family because she has the symbiote now. So she's like part of the Dax lineage now. So they're like, "What do you do?"
Don't give producers ideas. They're like, "Wait, it is like Dallas in space. Let's do that."
Okay, I'm telling you right now, I am on board for a Dallas in space.
Yeah.
I will watch the shit out of that.
JR comes out of the sonic shower.
Well, the other thing we found out was that Esri kind of was already a rebel with the family. She had joined Starfleet, and I'm sure her mother wanted her to go into the family business, and she didn't. That was before she was joined to Dax. So it's I think that there's been this tension before, and they're just kind of revisiting. She hadn't been home in 3 years, and she's only like 20 something, right? So she's like, good. She's been a while.
She says at one point in the episode, I just thought every day about how to get out of this house, right? So she wanted nothing to do with this.
So she's every teenage girl.
Yeah. Bobby was the one in the shower.
And then these guys are going like, y'all think she escaped. I'm jealous as hell.
Yeah. Then she goes to visit her brother Norvo in his quarters, which are all messy. Got all his art pieces around. He says they're all terrible and amateurish and whatever. And she's like, "When did you become such like a self-loather?" And she's like, he had framed, I guess, his rejection letter from the Andorian art school,
which he framed the multi-purpose device that he can view various things on with just that one screen.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah.
I appreciate
do they not have receipt printers in the future?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
they don't got
I
those
appreciate the messy room because a lot of times in Star Trek, everything is just so sterilized.
So sterile and perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not Norvo. He likes to drink. He likes his Saurian brandy, and he pours one up for Esri. We'll find out he'll pound the bottle pretty hard after this. But they have a drink together. But he doesn't look like an alcoholic. That would be my other critique of this. Just how he.
What does an alcoholic look like, Dave?
Not like they don't have nice skin.
Well, they do in the beginning.
Well, yeah, like maybe
he's
only been an alcoholic for 6 weeks.
Okay, maybe it's a new thing. I don't know.
Ever since he murdered somebody.
Ever since the murder.
Turn to the drink, he did. Anyway, so
good.
Anything you want else to say about this conversation between Norvo and Esri?
No.
In this still, he kind of looks like Jeremy London from Mallrats.
Oh my God, he does. Yeah, you're right.
This review's gone off the rails. Okay, so
well, we're 40 minutes in, and we're only like 20 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. Well, we can get through this plot.
The artwork is something else. Go back a slide. I mean, it's really. I noticed that in this episode. I'm like, oh, did they? They didn't have much budget for anything else in this episode, but they were like, you know what? We'll pay the graphics.
I think they spent their budget on.
It's like a matte painting.
I totally agree with Jeff. I'd love to live in this house. This is
this house looks amazing.
I would love to see this planet and get more like exterior visuals.
I'm not totally sure how earthquake proof it is, but
the view sort of sucks. But man, it's a nice looking place.
Where was this when they were showing Ferenginar? It was like a blurry mess when they would
dark.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't shine very often in Ferenginar. But yeah, like more of the like this is the old style of when TNG would do, which is like a matte painting, and then they add a few like moving elements to it to give it more life. But
yeah, like that one scene on I can't remember which homeworld it is, but they use the same one over and over and over again.
Yeah, they've done that a lot. Anyway, so Ezri goes to see her mom, and she's like, "Look what your brother did last night. He got drunk and pounded the Saurian brandy, and look, and he defaced my favorite painting he made of me." Which
I think he improved it.
I think it's awesome.
You buy that?
Look at him; he looks so happy running around in the mountains.
Yeah, and her mom's like, "You think this is funny?"
Yes.
You know, she's like, "I think it's funny. You think he did because of me." And her mom's not happy she's home.
Do you think they purposely did her hair like that to look kind of like a crown?
Or like Jadzia?
Or like Jadzia, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I kept thinking about Jadzia the whole episode, so I was like, yeah.
I didn't until just now, but yeah.
But this is like now, okay, let's blame mom for everything, and you held back the kids, and my brother could have been so much more, and oh boy.
Yeah, and there's no mention of their father. Like, he's presumably died or something, but like he's not.
They should have called this episode "Teenage Dirtbag." That would have been better.
Is Norvo the teenage dirtbag?
I don't even know which one is the dirtbag. I think Ezri might be the dirtbag too.
So Brian.
It's O'Brien.
Is it O'Brien?
Well, speaking of which, O'Brien comes in because Ezri's mom talked to the police. She's rich, so she's got some connections with the cops on New City.
She's pulling a lot of favors, Dave. Apparently.
Yeah.
Another example of O'Brien must suffer.
O'Brien suffers. Yeah.
Yeah, he really is the kicking bag of this series.
Why did the police punch him? I'm still
for fun.
They're like the Nausicaans mostly beat him up, but they're like the one on the jaw is ours. We totally punched.
They were probably looking to do a murder.
A moiter.
He caused him paperwork, and that's why he needed to suffer more.
And she's like, whatever.
Yeah,
why are you here?
Norman in the chat brings up a very good point. Why is O'Brien always in prison?
He's Irish.
Whoa there.
He looks
I don't want bomb threats today. Thank you.
When he plays when he's in prison and stuff, his Irish accent gets thicker.
They do thicken it up a bit.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Prison. It was my friend and I moitered him. Yeah.
Like, and he's got he looks like a different guy here. He looks like he's got like tobacco stuck in his lip. That's like a fat lip he's got going on.
My favorite is next scene, face is totally fine. Like nothing.
Well, that's because he had a shower.
He had a shower.
Shower's gonna get rid of bruises, Kevin.
And
we all know that.
Well, presumably he used a dermal regenerator or something.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. They live in an age of that.
That's not shown or anything like that. Anyway, but we find out why he's here. He was looking for Bilby's wife. Remember Bilby from Honor Among Thieves?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Well, she was
abducted.
Did O'Brien promise to protect her or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
So, and they're like, well, she's dead. She was thrown in the river. And he goes, well, lots of people go into the police guy.
Lots of people get thrown into the river.
Yeah. Do you think they were all murdered? He's like, well, maybe they were,
I don't know. I would be concerned about that. Maybe you guys need to reevaluate, maybe put some guardrails in.
Maybe do some investigating as to why there are dozens of bodies.
Maybe figure out why there's so many bodies in the river.
O'Brien knows.
The cause of death was the Orion Syndicate.
The cause of death was the Orion Syndicate.
I don't know. It's probably something else.
My other favorite line from him was,
she accidentally hit herself in the head and accidentally threw herself in the river, huh?
Well, if there's no guardrails, that's very possible.
So she accidentally hit herself in the head. So we get a little bit more sense of how she died. He's telling Ezri, this is after the shower and the meal and dermal regenerator and a fresh pair of clothes, I might add. But Ezri's mom shows up and says, no, I need you to be put to work. My drill is not working and you know how to fix it. And that meal's not free.
Earn your keep.
Earn your keep around here. Can you help fix it? Which what's his name? Janelle, the other son, does not want to do. But O'Brien's happy to get to some work. He's always looking for a little more to do.
Something I know.
Great. I have a shower and I'm not in prison.
Yeah.
And something that he said he could fix. Something he knew what to do with.
I can fix something. I know how to solve this particular mystery at the moment. So let's go. So anyway, Esri goes to see Norvo, and Norvo has destroyed his room, and he, quite violently, I might add her. And I think that as a trained therapist and counselor, there's some signs here.
What is it?
Totally would have worked.
Did you see her great therapist skills on display last episode, Dave? When she was like, "You take what's the guy in the hologram? What's his name again?
Vic
Fontaine.
He was like, Vic Fontaine, you got this. Yeah. And that was that. And then she went, and then
Hi there, Pally.
Hiya, Pally.
Yeah.
At one point, she even goes, "I don't even want to know what you're doing. It's obviously going to work."
Don't tell me your secrets. It's it's proprietary.
You're clearly more competent than I am.
You have doctor-patient confidentiality now. I'm passing it on to you. So it's all good.
Norman says that O'Brien was handcuffed for wearing
that shirt. I think that's fair. That's
I think that is a fair assessment.
I didn't watch the last review for the last episode. Was Davan extremely angry about the blatant use of AI to solve problems?
Probably.
Only if it was taking jobs from real artists, which
It was like Esri.
Like Esri.
Yeah. Taking our jobs
from a real therapist.
But she gave it up very easily.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's
That's
gonna feel about that Exocomp episode from Next Gen.
What about that episode?
Well, they're taking the jobs.
They are
doing
taking
the jobs, Steve.
Yeah, machines taking the job.
Look, Vic only appears when he wants to. Okay, he's like Santa.
Right. Yeah.
Vic Fontaine. Hey, it's good to see you.
Pally?
Anyway, Brian's looking at the drill. He goes, "You think you have a type J, but this is a type L or whatever in the machine in the drill. So, but it's mislabeled." He goes, "It's probably something else here." But
Okay, I'm calling bullshit on this one. We live in a world with thermal regenerator or dermal regeneration and all this crap, and you're telling me that they can't get the labels right on a fucking fuse?
Well, we find out it was mislabeled on purpose by the Orion Syndicate as a form of sabotage.
That makes more sense.
He goes, "I know it's definitely a type L, but it looks like a type J or whatever."
The computers are smart enough
engineers.
Yes, I agree.
Well, it should be smart enough that when you put in the fuse and it's wrong, it would be like, nope, that's the wrong fuse, bitch. Like my printer won't even print if my ink's too low.
It shut down, Jody.
It shut down.
There
But
you
it
go.
didn't say wrong fuse.
It should have just said wrong fuse.
Okay, but then this guy shows up, the Orion Syndicate guy, who's clearly shifty as hell. Like, couldn't be more shifty. You know?
I needed always when you're doing the diamonds with the hand.
Yeah, like
it's over.
Yeah, like this guy.
Yes,
a creep.
yes, it is. Yes,
I needed close up on his eyes for him to start looking around shiftily, and a little mustache or a little twirl. That was the only thing missing.
Yeah, and the way he talks and everything else, and Brian's just like, "Oh, this guy's a gangster." I know because I was undercover. I was Donnie Brasco. Remember? This is the sequel to that episode. I love the hard hats too. That was also maybe something different. You don't see in Star Trek too much as hard hats. But
and they got like kid ones. They should have got bigger ones.
Right. Hard hat technology not changed.
Not
at
changed.
all.
No. You think they'd have like protective suits or something, or
a force field that goes around your head
Too expensive.
instead of just a piece of plastic.
Too expensive.
Can't afford that. Yeah. Anyway, but then after O'Brien leaves, Janelle and this guy have a conversation, talk about Maria Bilby, and that she basically saying that he's looking here for Bilby, and then so we're kind of led to believe that Janelle already knows who Bilby is, right? So and Janelle knows the Orion Syndicate guy too. Again, another part of this misdirect. So the Orion Syndicate guy says to Janelle, "Get rid of O'Brien and her sister. They need to get out of here. This is getting too hot." And so that's basically what he does in the next scene. He tells O'Brien, like, "Hey, you like your coffee?" He's like, "Yep." He's like, "Well, maybe you should go home. Take Esri with you. See you later." And we know he's kind of the jerk brother anyway, but Esri comes in and goes, "Hey, I think your brother wants us to go." She's like, "He's under stress. Don't worry about him." And then they start talking. We talk about the Maria Bilby. He's like, oh yeah, this Orion Syndicate guy came by. I can't prove he's an Orion Syndicate guy, but I think he was, and it's just a feeling, But they basically come to the conclusion that they should look into the financial records of the company to see if they can give them any clues, because there's more than her brother's not telling her, is what O'Brien's feeling is here. He also has to accept Esri as his superior officer because she's a lieutenant junior grade and he's only a chief. So that's how it goes. Oh, that quick scene here where Norva goes to talk to the mom in the hard hats, because Esri was trying to get him to leave and get away from their mother and go on this vacation. And his mother's like, why would you need to go on a vacation? Vacation from what? Yeah, where's my Q3 report?
Well, let's be honest. This guy is clearly incompetent. He still hasn't done the damn report.
He looks very young here too.
Yeah, I want to spend time with Esri. You're spending time with her now.
Yeah, you're spending time. Like there is some parts of the dialogue.
Why don't you two go upstairs and get that damn quarterly report done?
Yeah,
I'm surprised the mom didn't have Esri, work as well. She's the only one who gets to lay about.
Right, pretty much. Then Janelle comes by. Trying to remember. Oh yeah, so I don't know. They're looking through the financial records, and Esri says, "I know why I didn't go into the financial business." But this is maybe my next favorite thing in the episode, guys, is when O'Brien's looking through the records, and then he looks up at Esri, and there's always it still hits me, where he's just like, "What the hell is going on here? Did you know about this?" And how accusatory he is.
What's going on here? Did you come here to find me or to prevent me finding out the truth?
You come here to find me or to prevent me from, not a very nice thing to say.
To be fair, he does not know this woman. He knows Dax, but does not know this woman.
But he knows Dax. Why would Dax lie to him?
Yeah,
but it's Dax adjacent. It's not necessarily all Dax.
Well, it's Esri Dax, but
it's Esri.
Yeah.
The Esri element could be shifty.
Well, maybe I could accept that. But he knows Esri too. It's not like he just met her. He's known her a little while, and he knows he has more backstory with Dax, who he's known for years.
Yeah, but he doesn't know any of her backstory until this episode.
True. And
I just love how you're like, well, because of this. Okay, true. You just immediately just back down.
Anyway, Esri says, it wasn't me. You gotta believe me. And he kind of seems to, but he's like, someone in your family is a suspect in this murder. Moiter. So we gotta get to, and we find out that she was on the payroll, Bill B's wife. She was making a lot of money as a consultant or something, up to 12 bars of latinum a week. Is that what we're told?
No, I think she went up
to
20.
30.
Right? Oh,
30.
Yeah.
30. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot of latinum.
Yeah.
The one thing about this that I did like is we find out that the Orion Syndicate takes care of the families even after they kill their operatives.
So what you're saying is the Orion Syndicate is better than the U.S. government in terms of looking after veterans and their widows?
I'd imagine every syndicate is better than the U.S. government.
Okay, and we find out how they did this, right? Because I guess the next scene is the confrontation, right, between where O'Brien goes to see them, and they're talking about Maria Bilby and what happened to her. Norva's in the corner quiet, but it's mostly an argument between Janelle and the mother. And Janelle explains that that the war hurt them, that the Jem'Hadar attacked a shipment or something, and that they were financially hurt. The Ferengi came into the picture and knocked them out of 5th place, that they were struggling with cash flow problems, and the Orion Syndicate offered them an out, and they took it. He took it. And then the favor the Orion Syndicate wanted back was that you need to take care of Bilby's wife, right? That you are, and apparently she wanted to live a very luxurious lifestyle, even though I would believe she's human. She can go to Earth and live in a post-scarcity world. And why does she want money is my big question.
To spend it?
To own what? I think like the problem for me too is like we never meet the wife, we never meet this woman who gets murdered, but moitered. But I think we kind of did need that. Although from what we're told here is that she was just like, she was angry at her husband for getting killed and all these other things. And I don't know who she was, but she didn't deserve to die.
I wanted the mom to actually be like part of the Orion Syndicate. That would have been better.
Right. But they all think it's Janelle. Janelle like killed her to cover this up because she kept asking for more and more money. Right. And as the argument is going on, Norvo pipes up and says, it wasn't him. And then Ezri kind of like, I don't know, eventually looks over to him. Man, there's a lot of looks here. And then she looks at Norvo and she kind of figures out that it was Norvo. Who's kind of...
Look at that insane look on his face. He would make a perfect Lower Decks villain after this.
Yeah.
Why so serious?
Yeah, he's kind of got like that weird Joker thing going on. Yeah, and then when Ezri kind of confronts Norvo, and then the mother looks over, I think that there's some good acting here, guys. Like, I think that the scene kind of works. For
yes,
I would say 2 out of 4 of them can act.
I would say 3, but that's
3 out of 4.
3 is pushing it.
Yeah. And so so they're going through, and I bought Ezri's performance here. I thought or Nicole DeBoer.
I got confused. I was like, am I watching like an episode of Law and Order all of a sudden? Like it
felt like a Law and Order. It did feel like a Law and Order ending for sure. Like absolutely. Where suddenly it's always like at the end of the Law and Order episode where like the truth finally comes out.
Yeah.
Like, so,
or like even CSI.
Yeah,
you learn in the last like 3 minutes what's going on.
And maybe that's why I like this episode, because I do like Law and Order, and it felt like a Law and Order episode. But there was a bit of that going on here. Yeah. Anyway, they're all sad. They take Norvo away.
Is he going to get beat up too? Paperwork.
He'll probably see O'Brien again, though.
Yeah.
The mother's yelling after him as he's going out. Did you get those reports done?
Did you even get that report done?
Where's that Q3 financials? I need that.
Honestly, they should have.
She calls him up at the jail. Do you have the Q3 report or what?
Like, they should have ended this episode with just O'Brien being thrown in Norvo's cell and just O'Brien go, damn it! Like,
that's the next episode.
Or O'Brien goes back to the station. Cisco has it out with him, and then his punishment is to go back again.
Yeah, he's got to go into the cell.
Yeah, we need you to get more information.
Did you like when Ezri told Janelle to like get out of here, stop doing stuff for mom, and go make your own life?
Yeah, screw the mom over.
Yeah, screw mom. She ruined Norvo. It's her fault that Norvo did this.
It's
for the
totally
record,
her
it's
fault.
not. But in my opinion, it's not her mother's fault.
She should. The mother kind of even asked Ezri in this scene, like, "Yeah, well, was this my fault?" And Ezri kind of goes, like, "Yeah." Pretty much,
Well, she doesn't say it, but it's implied.
She's not directly responsible, but she is kind of.
She didn't help the situation.
Norvo is grown up. He can get away from his mother if he wants to.
He's been emotionally abused.
Yeah,
well, he's been getting away from that third quarterly report for a while now.
Yeah,
he knows how to stay away from stuff.
I guess it comes down to what's personal responsibility and what's been sort of like conditioning and gaslighting and how much does the action of the individual matter or not, or choice matter. But anyway, Ezri says nothing to her mother. She's like, I'm staying for the trial and then I'm out of here. See you later. See you never.
I think this episode is like a lot more relatable in like our day and age than it probably was when it aired.
I liked it better this time than I did 30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
It's more relatable now because like it makes more sense that like the generations have like we've gone through 25-30 years now where everyone's kind of like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, but like back then I think a lot of people were like, what is this episode? Stupid Ezri. Stupid Ezri.
So Jeff, what you're saying then is that you're finding ways to blame your parents for stuff and you're worried about your kids blaming you for stuff.
Well, I think that's
and Jeff still hasn't submitted the quarterly report.
Well, no. But yeah, I see. I don't even mean that, but like I just mean like the way I think now that like the boomers are older and a lot of the millennials are looking back at their upbringing, and I think it's a lot more like, oh, okay, I see. Like, so some people I think are raised in that way where they look back at their parents and go, oh, they were more worried about themselves or whatever, and it screws people up sometimes. I think that's kind of the idea. But at the time, I'm sure I would have watched this episode when I was like, I only would have been 10. But I would have been like, this is a stupid Ezri episode. I don't care.
I didn't love it at the time, but I
think I said the same thing, and I was older than you then.
Yeah.
I think you said the same thing at the beginning of this episode today.
I did. It's a stupid Ezri episode.
So just to touch on the final scene here, guys, where I guess this is sometime later, where it's on Deep Space Nine. O'Brien catches Ezri at Quark's, and they sit down and they talk. And she says that, yeah, well, my brother got 30 years in jail. And his response, I think, was kind of like something here where he says,
I wish you could say I was sorry, but considering what he did, he got off easy.
He got off easy.
That's because
It's
if
funny
O'Brien
coming from
got
someone in the. It's funny coming from someone in the Federation. Garrick tried a genocide. He got like
6 months.
3 months.
Slap on the
6
wrist.
months.
6 months in one of Odo's
6
cells.
months.
O'Brien did kill a fake guy in his prison simulation, right?
Yes.
After 20 years.
And when he gets back to Deep Space Nine, Cisco's going to make him kill Bashir as punishment.
he's already back, and we have no idea what happened with that.
Yeah, like I could have used the scene where Cisco chews him out or whatever.
I would have just preferred if O'Brien was just walking funny, like.
Yeah, like he just got his ass handed to him.
He's got a freaking boot in his ass.
Or he just has like a bruise on his cheek, and she's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Well, or he just comes out of Cisco's office and goes, "Well, that was unpleasant."
What I think,
or I'd rather be in prison.
Or he's been grounded from the hall suite, so he can't go and fight the Alamo.
Yeah, he
anymore.
can't fight the Alamo anymore.
I've been grounded.
And then Bashir walks up to him and is like, "We can't go." And it's like after a couple months, he's like, "Do you remember the Alamo?"
Oh, see, there you go.
Neil
should be a writer.
It just cuts to Bashir standing outside of the Hollow Suite with like a teddy bear, and he's all sad.
No, what's his teddy bear's name? Miglamo or something?
Yeah.
Kukamacha?
Or yeah, like O'Brien standing in front of like the Hollow Suite doors as they open, and there's the Alamo, but he's not allowed to go in. But like, we see him like Worf go in or something like that. That would have been
Kukalaga.
She took him and she never brought him back. But like he got off light. Is like 30 years in jail is a life sentence.
Well,
not in this day and age.
I mean, it depends what country you're in. Like
Canada,
because they live longer now.
In Canada, 25 years is a life sentence.
Yeah, but in the 23rd century or whatever we're in now, in this episode, they live longer.
What's the rotation of the sun on that planet?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure, but
what they should do is just sentence him to like have to hang out with the fucking prophets. That'd be enough.
Yeah, go live on Bajor.
Yeah, go live on Bajor for 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that
go back to Davan.
Well, the other thing I don't think O'Brien really gives us is he never acknowledges that this woman was exploiting his family, like extorting them for money.
Yeah.
Like, and he doesn't seem to have anything to say about that. Like this.
Also the guy that Bixby or whatever. Wasn't
Bilby.
he also Bilby? He was in the syndicate, wasn't he? Wasn't he a bad guy?
Yes,
and
he was.
Yeah. Like I don't understand. Like this is like O'Brien's like a bit of a hypocrite. Really.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
He watched Bilby murder somebody.
Yeah.
Like so, but Bilby didn't get off light or what? I don't know what he thought. Like,
there's only two things O'Brien likes: prison and mashed potatoes.
I mean, what if I was Ezri? I don't know. My relationship with Brian would be the best. Like
no. After this, I would.
Yeah. But O'Brien made a promise, and that's what he was more focused on than anything else.
His promise was stupid. Where's Keiko to yell at him in this episode?
I agree.
Too? But it was more.
The guy has suffered enough.
Keiko's on Bajor with Her plants and Savar.
Savar. Go back to
Savar,
Bejor and
yeah.
Savar. See if I care. Do I still have that on hotkey? I think I
You
do.
should. It should
7
never,
more months.
no. It should never leave the hotkeys.
That's
It's on
true.
there somewhere.
Harder it is.
Give me warp in the factor of 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right hotkey. Hold on.
You gotta do it harder. Go back to Bejor and your plants and Sabar.
Oh, that's a good point.
See if I care.
Yep.
Keiko
Oh, yeah,
has
there you go.
Bilsey's cat. That's true.
Keiko has Bilby. Yeah, that's right. He is the cat. Why did the cat go to the wife?
Was that the whole plan? Was the
Maybe it
plan?
was.
The plan was like
I had
need to
this
get
cat.
rid of this cat. I
Keiko
need to
said,
find
"Get rid
a
of the
wife."
cat," and I was gonna give it to Bilby's wife, and then she
Yeah.
died.
No, she was murdered.
She was murdered
Murdered.
by Esri's brother. What a coincidence. Anyway,
Brian just had a feeling. I just have a feeling.
just a feeling. Yeah, I would say your feelings are spot on, even though you're not a detective to the point of Cisco. He's not a detective. Anyway, guys, let's talk with fun facts. Unless anybody's get ready to go. Worf does not appear. Worf does not appear in this episode.
No, Worf's basically is taking season 7 off.
I like that sad fact.
Well, remember when Sulu was gone for filming the Green Berets, but he was gone for like a year.
Yeah. It was all season 2, more or less. Sulu does not. That was in our fun facts every week, where it was like Sulu does not appear in this episode because he was on the.
That's right. He's on the yeah.
I'm like, okay.
He was on a better production. Yeah.
I didn't miss him necessarily.
Sad facts.
The Tegan's living room was a redress of the Vic Fontaine Lounge. Ooh. It's a good redress. What else, guys? The Tegan family house on Sephora 6 or 7 was based on the work of legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright, particularly the Falling Water in Pennsylvania. Yeah. The episode was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Art Direction.
Probably because of like the art, like that.
Well, they ain't winning no fucking awards for acting. I can tell you that.
As in the case with many films, television episodes, and literature, this title of this episode misuses the word prodigal. The Christian parable of the prodigal son uses the term not because the son left and returned home, but because he was wasteful. The term prodigal refers to one who wastes money or resources freely and recklessly.
Dave, Sam wants to know if that's a new comforter.
We call it a puff.
A puff. Okay.
But yeah,
Right. Is it a new comforter?
It's not brand new. Daryl gave it to me in June. It's the View Askew Street Hockey.
Oh,
League.
that's the one with the team logos on it.
One of the team logos on it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Daryl somewhere he's like, Dave's on it.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yep. I gave him that blanket.
Every time
Kevin,
Dave gets drunk and passes out in the podcast room, he'll be on it.
As mentioned, Kevin Rom guest stars here as Esri Dax's brother, Norvo Tegan. He would later go on to have a recurring role in the TV series Lethal Weapon as Police Captain Brooks Avery, whose name, interestingly enough, was based off the name of Avery Brooks, who plays Captain Sisko.
How many times did he ask for their badges? I want your badge and your gun.
Yeah. Okay. Brooks Avery. That's fun. Odo tells Dr. Bashir to give my regards to Santa Anna. Santa Anna was the role Odo himself was expected to play when O'Brien and Bashir first discussed the Alamo Holosuite program in Afterimage. The episode introduces Esri's two brothers and her mother in the home where she grew up off the planet Trill on a moon in the Andorian system. The family is well off and owns a large Parageum mine. I don't know. The young brother mentions that he applied for admission at the University of Andoria. So this was the Andoria system? I didn't realize that.
Cisco says it. That's in the Andoria system, isn't it? He says it in this episode.
I thought he said the Sephora system.
No, he did. Yeah,
No,
he did.
He said Andorian.
Oh, did he say
Andorian? Okay. So, that's interesting.
I'm with you, Dave. I thought he said that too.
Okay. I thought it was the Andorian Art School was the one you wanted to go to. The episode reveals that Esri's family name before joining the Dax was Tegan. The change of the name annoys Esri's mother, even though this would be no different than a woman's change of family name after getting married. In this case, in a manner of speaking, the Trill joining is a marriage of a host and a symbiote. So Esri's mother shouldn't be annoyed. I think that's the whole point. Her mom sucks. And the mother has a younger sister, Dae Young, who has appeared in the Masterpiece Society. That doesn't matter. That's not a fun fact at all. That's a sad fact. And one last fact, guys. Let's come up with something here.
Is there a number reference that we need to be aware of, Jeff?
I don't think that was there a 47 reference in this.
I don't know. I hope so.
I don't think there was. Jake Sisko does not appear in this episode. That's my final sad fact.
Now, see, they could have won the art direction if he had one of his sweaters. But...
Right.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's get into our ratings here and figure out how much do we really like this episode or not. All right. Prodigal Daughter, guys. Jeff, you want to start us off?
Oh, I get to go first.
You do.
I'm like a 5.9.
5.9. Okay.
I feel like that's nice too.
It's very kind of you. Okay. I'm gonna give this episode. I think this episode is better than not. I give it a 6.5. It's pretty good.
Ooh, that's high. But I'll give it a 6.1.
Jody.
I'm gonna give this a 5.5.
5.5 from Jody. Adam.
5.
5 from Adam. Kevin.
Oh my God, I'm the high score here. I'm gonna go 7. It is exactly the same as Covenant.
All right. And
Davan gives it a 10.
That just gives it a 10.
Davan, or a 4, maybe.
Or a 4. It could be a 4.
No, he didn't seem like he was giving it a rousing endorsement in the chat.
No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he likes this episode that much. So we'll see, we'll input him later. But we're averaging at a 6 tonight, guys, across the board. This episode has a 6.3 on IMDb, much lower than last week's episode. It's only a paper moon. Yeah, and
well, that's because that was a good episode.
Right. So yeah. So averaging a 6. So a lot of ups and downs here in this season so far.
Yeah. In every episode, it's a down.
Yeah. I think this was maybe the best we were to get. So of those,
If you want to fill mine in for last week, Dave, I would give it a 9.
Oh, sure. You would give it a 9 to it's only a paper moon. Okay.
And I would boost mine up to an 8.3.
Okay.
But it still gets marks docked because of its blatant use of AI.
Well, I have the sheet up. If anyone else feels like filling in a score, feel free.
I.e. Jaemeel, who has like a huge gap.
And Jeff.
But I think Jeff says a little bit more.
Oh, I don't remember all these episodes.
I think you want to give Covenant a 10.
You want to give Covenant a 10, Jeff? The one with Kira and Ducat on the station in Empok Nor?
Oh, that one's like, yeah, that's like a 6.
It's like a 6, he says. Okay. How about the Siege of AR 558?
I don't remember that episode, but I did see like the flashback with Nah getting hurt.
That's a good one.
So for that one, I give it like a 7.
Okay. All right.
What's the next one?
The one's more that's the one with a core where they go off to with core, Martok and core, and Martok hates core.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's like an 8.
Treachery, Faith in the Great River is the one where that other Wayoon, the one who wants to defect.
That one I really like. That one I would give a 9.
Yeah, we all seem to like that episode.
Take Me Out
to the Hollow Suite.
I'd give that one like a 9.5. That one's a good episode. I really like the first episode of season 7.
Image in the Sand.
Yeah, I'd give that like a 9 too. I know that's not everybody's favorite, but
Shadows and Symbols is kind of the part 2 of that. So
yeah, I'd give it a 9 too. Like I like that story. The other 3 episodes, I don't know what they are.
So see, Jody, now I'm slacking behind.
Yeah, just like that. Jeff's ahead of Jaemeel. So Jeff, you're averaging right now an 8.1 for season 7, but you haven't filled in everything. So in general, this season is tracking kind of on par with season 6. But it seems like, if you look at season 4 and 5, wow, that was we really went high then. So anyway, guys, let's look ahead to the next episode. Is it a good one? It's called The Emperor's New Cloak. It's the 162nd episode of this show. It's the one where it's the final Mirror Universe episode, guys, if you recall.
Oh, goody.
This is where
this is the not good mirror episode.
Right.
Well, there's more than one.
Well, there is more than one, but this is definitely up there with one of the worst ones.
Davan would say all of them are not.
Davan would say
Davin's clearly wrong.
But I, as a guy who likes the mirror universe and everything,
I love the mirror universe.
And I'm sorry, Adam. I don't like to give you a preconceived notion here, but I don't like this episode.
Oh my goodness!
I don't like this episode
that we're about to watch. The Emperor's New Cloak. It is my least favorite mirror universe episode in any show.
No, I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah, it's basically it's what happens if
you want to be depressed the rest of the night. You go ahead.
Quark and Rom have to go to the mirror universe to save Zek. It's kind of what happens.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
You have no idea.
It's bad, but it's better than Mirror Burial.
Well, nothing's
true.
Actually, Mirror Burial was better than regular Burial.
Different levels.
But both extremely bad.
Yes.
Actually, I think Norman here in the chat probably says it best. A Mirror, Ferengi, and Ezri episode all at once.
Well, yeah, Mirror Ezri shows up and it's all thing.
Yeah.
So,
which
that's a very good description.
Which to me never makes sense.
Yeah. And Dick Fun. Oh, God, I'm not even gonna get there. Okay, guys, let's talk. Let's talk about. We already talked about next week. We're gonna get out of here. Make sure to check in all our podcasts here on Live Long and Podcast. We have many divisions, including the science division, who does like all kinds of fun things, like trivia and debates and Class L probes and different things like that. We got the Locutors of Trek, who just put out a new audio episode last night. They were talking about leadership in Star Trek with Jeff Aitken from the Star Trek Leadership.
Actually.
Yeah. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
Us here on the Command Division, we talk about episodes. We got Star Trek Discovery coming back in a couple months. I'll be talking about that with Adam Woodward when that show comes back. And then we got like Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks later this year, and who knows what else.
Then next year it's Section 31 and
that Section 31 movie. Yeah, they started production on that.
And the Academy.
The Starfleet Academy show, yeah, that's apparently still in development. I've heard nothing new about that recently.
I have a funny feeling that one ain't coming out.
Yeah.
Oh no, they cast. Wait, no, they didn't cast it.
Like, I think they're making a pilot, and we'll see where it goes. But
yeah, I have a funny feeling that one ain't gonna work.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Check out the United Federation of Podcasts, our network of podcasts with a lot of the podcasters you see here and some you don't see here. Like my son Eamon Mater, he's got his show Eamon on Track. I think Jody's going on Wednesday to talk about. Green Day.
It's tomorrow, I think.
It's tomorrow. You're talking.
Yeah, we've had to postpone it a bunch of times already.
Yes,
both him and I have had conflicts. So
yeah.
So hopefully tomorrow we're going to be talking about Insomniac by Green Day.
Yeah, that's exciting. So look out for that on Eamon on Track. Of course, the Super Mater Brothers podcast coming back in the near future. We are brothers!
It's way better when Jeff does the hand thing and he mouths it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about Survivor. A new season of Survivor is coming, guys. Are you excited?
In March.
Is it
no, February 29th.
800 or...
Which is
on now?
It's March.
Which is basically March. We're like, Jesus Christ.
But it's not. It's February.
I'm sorry.
What season is it now,
format, everyone.
Stick to the format. That's I don't make calendars. I don't decide when it's February, when it's March. It's
make up the months all willy-nilly.
We have a leap year to follow.
Actually, imagine if Dave got to name the months. That would be amazing.
I would love that.
Would you do the 13 months and every month?
It'd be Dave Tober.
Dave Tober, yeah.
Anyway, with all that in mind, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thanks for being
Hold Up this week.
Hold Ups this week. What do they got going on? Hold Up.
Oh, with music starring me.
Music movies?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Which
we
movies,
have.
You know?
Yes, I do. I'm on the episode. So it's The Sound of Metal. They're the harder they come, and Sing Street.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I know one of the three of those.
The Harder They Come?
Yeah.
That's the Davan choice, so you know what's coming from that. A lot of
I know what's coming.
Broken slang from Davan.
It's gonna be you have to watch this 7 times to really get it.
It's a 10, guys. It's a 10.
It's a 10. You just don't get it.
You don't get it. It's a 10.
I know he's gonna like mine. He's gonna like Sing Street. Sing Street is my choice.
Yeah.
I know the name, but I don't know anything about it.
It's actually pretty good. Folks should check it out. And you'll see why come Wednesday.
Jaemeel, if you're on it, I'll watch it.
Is the cast already out for Survivor? I guess
really.
I didn't see that. Big Brother Canada 12 is coming. I will not. They didn't. I got no calls, Sam. I don't know about you, but I didn't get a call.
What? I just got hit with one whammy. Just leave me be for a little while longer.
I know,
Jeez.
but we're not going to do every episode of Big Brother. Or anyway, so with that in mind, guys, we're signing off for tonight. Check us out next week when we're going to talk about Emperor's New Cloak. I think we're going to love it. I think we're going to give it all 10s. All right, and on that note,
only if Davan's here.
We're going to see you next time. Nice to have a full house here, guys. Kevin, Jody, Jeff, Adam, and Jaemeel. We'll see you next time.
Here's this.
May I ask what you're going to do? No, you may not. And I want that report on my desk within the hour.
See you next time, guys.
Now let's get out of here.